What are you seeing as being the biggest shift in how women present themselves now versus pre-COVID?
I think there's the casualness
Mm,
and the lack of, at least what I'm seeing, is professionalism. And even just going to, because I do go out and I do go to meetings and things, and I see everybody in black or brown or, these dreary colours, even casually. Like I went to a lunch last Sunday in the city, and they were dressed neatly and tidily, but every single one was in jeans.
mm,
Uh, and I was the only one slightly dressed up. And I could tell walking in, it's like, oh, no, it was like, and I just laugh these days because I am just always dressed differently to everybody else. But I see the casualness, and that to me immediately reduces your credibility, because I know when I walk into these meetings, even though I'm not presenting, I'm not doing anything like that, I'm respected because I walk in that door dressed well and people do stop and listen to me.
mm.
Whereas if I was dressed in, baggy jeans and everything else like everybody else does, I would just be one of the crowd. And
It's
it's so important.
it's interesting. We were watching the news this morning, and there was a segment on Uber deliveries, and the CEO of Uber, they were filming him in a car, and actually even my husband said, isn't it interesting that there's a CEO of a big organization and he's dressed in t-shirt, a simple t-shirt and a pair of jeans? I said, yes, well, you know,
Well, I think Steve Jobs started.
Steve Jobs and Mark Zuckerberg, and it sort of became the Silicon Valley uniform that everyone could show up dressed like that. And that's fine for specific industries where, IT is a perfect example of that sometimes, but then you go into different industries like advertising, for example, you'll find people dressing very creatively, quite, authentically, quite quirky. And then, but financial services, which is where you came from, that's very professional. That's people expect, when I'm meeting a financial planner or a financial services person, I expect them to be well presented, you know, in everything in its place, tidy, organized, because that's a reflection of your work ethic as well.
Definitely. But in sales too,
Yeah.
it's definitely important.
Yeah. I mean, I used to go and do presentations to organisations that had large sales teams, and it would always be on how to project a professional image, all the little things that you shouldn't do that could sabotage your image because that was a reflection of, the corporate values, and, it was all really important to present well so that you could gain trust and respect really quickly so that you could get your message across and create those meaningful relationships. But I just find it really fascinating that people, and women in particular, have become a bit complacent and are thinking that maybe it's okay now that I don't have to worry about, having my regrowth of my hair color done on a regular basis. I don't have to really bother about putting on makeup. I don't really have to. Can I wear flat shoes now? I don't have to bother about wearing heels. And there's all sorts of arguments for all of those things as to why you should, why you shouldn't. But um, I'm just watching with great interest as to what happens. I think now that we are having a lot of these major events come back into the fold, like Spring Racing Carnival is about to start in Melbourne, so that's an excuse for women to dress up and, look, pull out their finery and look fabulous, and I'm hoping that all of those sorts of things, as we really are coming out of this, will start to instill this, need for women to go back to the, have a bit of dopamine dressing, use colour, use nice things, have quality things in your wardrobe that when you pull them out, you put them on and you feel great because everything about that particular piece works for you from a style perspective. It fits you well, you look great in it, you know, you feel fabulous in it. I would love to see that, turn around again.
And I think it, I agree with you that it would be great if they did, because to me it shows a lack of disrespect for yourself, taking a casual approach. And I just, right from when I started working as a mum, I would be working part-time, so I had a young family. And I always treated my day regardless. I would get dressed prior to 9 o'clock in the morning, and I'd dress as though I was for work, even if I was at home. And I would dress well so that when I got on the phone, I still sounded and felt professional. And that's just been my whole life work ethic, because I did work from home a lot with the children. And then obviously the last 15 years, I would get up before even though I knew that I wouldn't be seeing anyone face to face on Skype or Zoom or anything like that, I would still dress myself for work so that I felt good about myself before I got on the phone and started to talk to people, because it just comes through on your voice. So that was just ingrained in me. I take it as a given, and I guess I find it a bit strange that other people don't.
No, I think it's an old trick from out of a sales training manual from years back where when you were doing your sales calls on the phone, you would have a mirror in front of you so that you could actually watch your facial expressions and, that used to come through in your voice. So now, Delmae, I'm seeing some photos of some celebrities in the background on your wall there. So tell us a little bit about what happened in those scenarios and how perhaps the way you presented yourself helped you, with those situations where you were meeting people of influence.
Well, with Peter Overton, he came to one of our events, and very fortunate to be able to work with him on a couple of occasions, which was awesome. Just such a gentle, nice man. With Richard Branson, that's an interesting one. The energy that man has, I have not met anyone with that much energy. You just standing beside him, you could feel this energy, which was, I came away from that just like, wow. It was worth the experience to meet him just for who he was, whether you like him or not doesn't really matter. I just found that and what struck me the most with him is the energy. And to be able to project that energy amongst so many people, it blows my mind.
I had another wonderful client I had actually just recently went to Necker Island this year. So she had was able to work with him and, some fabulous people in that particular program. So yeah, she said the same. She came back with all sorts of opportunities presented to her. But it was really important when you're put in that situation, to know you're presenting well, to know you're meeting them at that level is really important.
Yeah. And the other photos are very precious. They're my grandchildren.
Yes. Yeah, family is really important. And it's really important as an executive woman as well, if you've got family, because they're a major part of your life. It's not just all about work. So one of the things I often find is that women can dress for work really easily, but when it comes to their more social, personal engagements, they don't know what to do. And so they fall over in this particular area. And so they lose that presence. So, and we all as women will go through, family situations, and it's about being organized, isn't it? It's about knowing that you've got everything at your disposal that's going to help you, have those family moments. and dress well, and be able to step out of that into a professional role as well, and just have it be seamless with no distractions and no, oh my God, I can't do this well, or I'm not going to be able to dress for that. What am I going to wear for this? What am I going to wear for that? It's about being consistent, I think, in how you present yourself to the world.
Yeah, and that's really having your wardrobe structured,
Yeah.
having everything laid out. I have mine color coded because I like color coding. But it also helps when you're getting dressed. It's like, oh, okay, and that's what I find actually is with the wardrobe that I now have, thanks to you, is that I can pull a piece out and go, oh, maybe I'll wear that, and I know that it's going to go together. I don't have to stop and think about the color coordination because I know it's going to work, and that takes the hard work out of it. Uh, and you know that if you change the pair of shoes, you can dress something down, or if you wear a different pair of shoes, you can dress it up enormously. And also just the colors alone. Um, this morning my husband said to me, "Oh, you're all dressed up," and I said, "Well, and it's really just the color. It's the color that makes the world of difference. A simple top and white pants, and it looks amazing."